Welcome to Wind Down and Focus. We are Annette and Christina, photographers with over 15 years of experience in portraits, branding, and senior sessions. We're here to share everything we've learned along the way.
We focus on creating genuine, memorable moments through the lens and can't wait to bring you tips, stories, and behind the scenes from our photography journeys.
Each episode, we'll chat about photography tips, stories, and fun, all while sipping wine.
So grab a glass, sit back, and join us for some casual conversation, laughs, and photography goodness. Let's wind down and focus. Hello and welcome to episode 6.
I am Annette.
And I am Christina.
Today we're going to discuss the many hats of a photographer.
Yes, why we wear so many hats in our businesses and our own personal experiences juggling the multiple roles.
But first,
what do?
We talk about our wine.
Talk about our wine.
Of course, if you haven't been here, what we talk about.
Okay, so we have a Super Tuscan, which is yet another red. I know, I'm sorry, all you white drinkers out there. One of these days we might try white. We did bubbles.
We did bubbles. We don't drink white.
No, we're not big white drinkers, but maybe in the summertime we'll try.
You send us a good
rosé.
We will try it. And you tell us what try it with, and we will try it.
Yes,
but we're more red.
We are
and champagne
red
or a martini. I had a espresso martini prior.
We could have a fun martini.
We could
episode.
Mm-hmm. I love my espresso martini.
Yes, she makes really good ones.
They're yummy.
Okay, so what I picked up for us is the St. Giorgio Toscano Super Tuscan. Here is what you need to know about Super Tuscans. They are from the Tuscany region in central Italy. The wine style they're categorized under is called a Tuscan red. They're basically a red blend, but they always have the Sangiovese grape in them. And then they're blended with other grapes along with the Sangiovese. So Super Tuscan is a term for red wines from Tuscany that are often features blends of Sangiovese with international grape varietals such as Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Cab Franc, and Syrah. This particular one we're drinking, I could not find out anywhere exactly what grapes were in it, which tells me it's probably got a little bit of everything in it.
Right.
Which is why, it doesn't actually just tell you. But it's supposed to taste medium bodied with a nice line of red fruit, some lightly firm tannins through the finish with a twist of vanilla at the end. So
yeah, I didn't taste the vanilla.
I didn't taste the vanilla either.
And it did say, so when she sent it to me, I looked it up and it said something about truffle spices, which I got some truffle hard cheese from Aldi's, which is really good.
So good. If you have an Aldi's in your town, which most of all of us do.
Yeah.
Get that. Go get that
really
cheese.
Good. I did a steak, sirloin steak, and some
delicious
mushroom and asparagus that was roasted with it. So my thing was the steak made it more smooth.
Yes, I agreed with you on that for sure. Yeah. For sure. I didn't really taste much of a difference when we ate the vegetables with it. The cheese kind of helped it taste a little smooth too, but it was really the steak that
that really.
Yeah, so it's definitely good with a nice hearty steak for sure. And we actually didn't just get cheese or a side. Annette actually made us a steak for today's episode. Yes, you got some amazing balsamic from a local balsamic vinegar and oil company.
So I marinated my steak and it was a smoked whiskey balsamic mixed with a garlic mushroom olive oil.
It was so good.
And then I sauteed it and put it in the oven to finish off and sliced it for us. And then we had the mushrooms and asparagus tossed in the garlic mushroom olive oil with some garlic salt and roasted as well. So they were both good.
They were both very good. Getting a good balsamic vinegar and olive oil is very good for helping with any cooking that you do.
Right. And the steak had marinated. I think at 10 o'clock I started marinating it and cooked it at 3. So it's good. You could taste it for sure.
Yes, it was very good.
But like I said, the wine tasted a lot smoother after the steak bite. But the cheese was great. The veggies were great. I just noticed more of a change in the wine with the steak.
I agree. I do. Yep. So this particular bottle of Super Tuscan we got at one guess, Total Wine.
Yeah, if you don't know that by now.
One of these days I'm going to venture out, but we'll do some Trader
Total
Joe's.
Wine has it
We'll
all.
do some Deerbergs. So yeah. It was $14.99 regular priced, but I turned on my, when you go into Total Wine, you can hit deals. And
yeah,
it gives
and
you
it
things
shows
off.
you.
It got me 15% off, so I think I paid under $13 for it. But it's good. I don't know any of you out there that have a Cooper's Hawk in your city.
Some do, some don't.
Yeah. It's a pretty well known, but if you have a Cooper's Hawk, they have a Super Tuscan of their own that is
really good.
Very good. Yes, we like that one a lot. So yes, if you do have a Cooper's Hawk in your area, try their Super Tuscan. I highly, highly suggest it. So I think the only other thing we have to say about the wine is the tasting notes, which Vivino gave us, says a little bit of cherry and raspberry with oak, vanilla, and tobacco, and then some maybe plum and blueberry. So I definitely get some fruitiness. I'm really bad about picking out what fruits are in there.
Right. The last one I was able to tell, but this one I just noticed it was more smooth with the steak. That's all I can pretty much
I definitely got the tobacco at the front end of it.
Yes. But not with the steak.
Correct. The steak smoothed it out a little bit. Yeah. To me, when I taste fruit in a wine, I just taste fruit in a wine. I can't tell you if it's cherry or blueberry or mango.
It's sweet.
There's lots of mango in wines of it. Yes. I can just I'm like, okay, I get fruit. Yeah. So, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. So that's pretty much all we have for the wine today.
But now we're going to get on to the whole.
So we're going to pour another glass and get on to the whole next thing.
All right. So running a business isn't just about clicking a button. We handle bookings, pricing, taxes, figuring out what to charge, staying profitable. Did I say that right?
Yes.
All the things. So we are a photographer, but that's not what we do. It's from your time is not only just taking the pictures, it's from the time of contact with your client, whether that be email, phone call, onto, meeting them in person or discussing things over a phone call, to the shoot, to after the shoot, to delivering the images. But on top of that, we have your taxes, your all the things,
taxes, yes,
your pricing, your marketing.
Yep.
So we're going to dive into all that.
All of that.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Yes.
It's not just snapping a button.
Kind of goes across the board with most business owners, not necessarily photographers only. Right. This can go with anybody.
It goes with anybody.
We all kind of feel that same kind of stress of, oh my God, I have to do A, B, C, D, E today.
You get into it loving what you do, but then you realize there's this whole other thing that you have to learn.
Yes.
Which is not always what you love, or not always
what you're good at
or want to do. And that's where you have to decide where to delegate or not to delegate.
Yep.
But
exactly.
So we're going to dive into all that.
Dive into that. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yep. Oh, taxes, my least favorite thing in the entire world. My husband and I have not gotten any money back since the moment I opened up my doors. I owe money every year because I don't pay taxes throughout the year like somebody with a 9-to-5 does.
Right.
They get that paycheck and they get taxes taken out of it. I don't do that. So then the tax season comes through and I don't have kids.
You have to balance off his with yours.
Yes, I have to balance off his with mine. And then we don't have kids that we can claim or whatever, because evidently that's a jackpot, which we don't have.
It can be. We're almost out. Well, actually, I think we're out this year because Gage is 18. So I think we're last one, man.
Last one.
But he's living at home. So I think we still get, as long as they're living at home. And they're not which Gage not
now, if they go to college, do they still consider living at home if they're in dorm?
I don't know that. Oh, Jay would know that.
Jay would know that. He takes care of the taxes. Yes. I take care of my small portion.
And he, whatever.
I pull together my things as best as I can. I've been going to the same person for over 10 years. And she's this amazing older lady in a little town 20 minutes from us, and she takes my taxes. She knows me, so she knows every year, and she can tell me if something's wrong or something's off or whatever. So I trust her, and I just have to. I'm such a procrastinator when it comes to taxes.
Oh, we are too.
We'll say it's towards the end of March right now, and I have not given her. I haven't given her my taxes yet.
She's like, "Where is that stuff?" I'm like, "Oh crap, I get that."
It only takes me 6 hours to actually do it.
It's just, that's like a day.
It is like a day, but it's sitting down and being like, Christina, this is what you're doing today. And I'm like, no, I don't do it. Okay, sorry. I went off on a very long tangent about taxes.
This is part of the hat.
It's the time of year for it. It's part of the hat. That's for sure. Okay, so the next part of the hat is the social media and marketing hats. We have to promote ourselves. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, websites, SEO, blog posts. We have to create content for reels, posts, emails. We have to attract our clients. That's a lot.
It's a lot. And I spend a lot of time.
You do. You spend a lot of time.
I
Yes.
would say 3 days a week. My mornings for a good 4 hours are creating reels through, I use Canva. So I'll create video and then I have to, create a tagline, all that good stuff to go with it. And then I have to post and it takes a good 4 hours of those days. And you have to be present on that stuff. So you have to actually do it. And it's ever changing.
Like you have to decide, am I doing a video? Should I do an actual still photo?
See, I don't think I do still photos much because they say video is
the key
thing.
Ever since we got back from sync, I've been doing more and more videos.
I don't do much solo posts.
Well, then it was you telling me. So Annette's got the college student daughter who told her that Mom, you have to use the music, the trending music. And if it wasn't for Annette sharing that with me, I would have not thought of that. I would just pick a song that I thought was cool.
Which is weird because she says that and I'll use some of it. And she's like, I don't recognize that song. I'm like, you told me use trending and that's what's on trending. But the trending on TikTok does not change often. I feel like Instagram, it does. So I feel like I'm using the same tunes.
Okay.
That's getting annoying because I want to switch it up. But she's like, you have to use this. So she could be totally wrong. But I'm listening to
I feel like she's more in the know for something like that than we are, right? We have to trust her to that extent.
Yeah.
Well, I went underneath trending for the last video that I did on TikTok, and I did a Taylor Swift. I'm like, I can't go wrong with that, right? A trending / Taylor Swift. I'm good. I'm good.
I mean, unless they don't like the Chiefs, they might.
Right. So yeah, it is definitely, it takes up a lot of time, and you. Talking about SEO, you did a lot of research.
I did.
To make sure your SEO was good to go. And she got, hair clap to her.
Yeah.
She got herself on the first Google search page for number 4 for high school seniors.
In St. Louis. Just when our little region, I've always been number 1. So Wentzville, the last 3 or 4 years that I've been doing this, I've been number 1. But then I was on page 3 or 4 for St. Louis and it was really bugging me.
Right. You're why can't I break through?
I dove into it and I did a lot of stuff and I ended up number 4.
I feel like you were 3 days without breathing of okay, SEO.
Yes.
SEO.
And you have to update all your website stuff. It took a long, it was a long time, like a whole day.
Yeah.
Meaning long time, but it was a whole day and I was stressed, need a glass of wine.
It's exhausting.
But somehow, I made it number 4 under our lovely friend Blanca. But, I'm up there. So I'm number 4 now for St. Louis, which is awesome. If you look St. Louis senior photographer.
Right.
There's all different things.
If that's what you Google,
under,
then
but
yes, that's what she's popping up on. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love it.
And I'm starting, I talked about this, I think last 2 episodes ago, how I was starting my pet photography website, and I'm doing it through PhotoBiz that you have used for years and years. And the SEO on it is much easier to do.
Right.
Than
give you a little.
My Charisma side is on WordPress, which I feel like is so old school. And so my game plan is transition Charisma over to that because I'm learning with my pet photography side how to do that SEO correctly, getting it good, getting it great. And then I want to kind of do that with
if you can handle it that's why I've told you with PhotoBiz, you can handle it. SEO is in your hands.
Yeah.
So if you learn it good enough, and they do have their AI set up. Now, mind you do need to tweak it sometimes. You got to read it and tweak it. And I spent, I don't know, I bought the SEO, whatever it was. But he went through and he's like, well, you're really good for the most part. But he gave me a few tweaks.
It's like, I just paid you to tell me I'm really good.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Great.
Thanks.
And he's like,
I guess I get an A+.
Here's a few tweaks. And I had wrote I don't use a lot of their automated SEO because I had been with somebody else and he had told me how to write it. So I use what they suggest and I change it up. And that's somehow been working very well.
Yeah.
So
Yes. Yeah. Everybody, especially if you're new to the business, getting your SEO done correctly from the start. Because my website, I'm 14 years into having the same exact website, which I've tweaked in like the way it looks and stuff. But in terms of like content, I've just been adding to it.
right.
And I'm at a point where I'm like, you know what? It's a whole new world. I just want to like scrap it and just start from scratch with my last 3 years worth of work.
Yeah.
And just go from there.
Well, and another thing is, so SEO gets you on Google for the most part.
Yes.
But,
that too. Yeah.
And mostly you don't have your high school seniors or your kids or whatever on Google. You have your parents.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to look at that too. I mean,
that's true.
The kids are going to be on TikTok.
On the TikToks.
Instagram.
The
They're not
TikTokies.
looking at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to learn it. Again, another hat. You have to learn it all because you have to be advertising to all.
Yes.
So,
well, if you're just say a family photographer, then you might not need to be on TikTok because you're not trying to necessarily
clientele's not there.
Exactly. But in the realm of senior photography, TikTok is very important.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think even like wedding photography, I don't think it's I think it's on TikTok.
Correct.
But it's not necessarily you don't need I don't know if people Google
I know
it.
It's hard to, you know what? I'm looking forward to Shutterfest this year and learning more about that, exactly
what it happens.
That today's brides, what they're actually like going for. Because they're in their early to mid 20s.
Right. They're still TikToking, but they're not but they're Googling too. So it's a combo.
They're like young, they're literally young adults.
I think my daughter who's 26 would Google something if she was looking for it.
True. Yeah.
I think so. I mean,
we should ask her.
We should
ask her. We're like, hey, we have a scientific question for you. You're going to text her right now.
Can we? Yeah, let's ask.
We're recording right now, Tanner. Can you just answer this quick question for us?
Okay, let's FaceTime her.
Hey, Mom, what's up?
So you're being recorded right now. So we were just curious for a 26-year-old, if you're looking for wedding photography, would you look on Google, TikTok, or social media?
Like Facebook or Instagram?
To be honest, probably a combination of all three. Like I'll look on Google first to get names and then look up their social media after that to like see their work in the comments.
Okay.
All right. But you would definitely look up Google.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. That's very helpful, Tanner. Thank you very much.
I love you, boys. I hear you. Okay.
So there it is. So that is what a 26-year-old would probably do.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Google is important.
Yep.
All right. So another one is customer service hat. So we're answering messages. We're helping clients prepare. We're making them feel comfortable. Handling tough situations. Making sure customers are happy. So for me, this is, again, it's your emails, it's the calls, it's the Facebook messages, the order sessions. It's all time consuming. And you have to take it as it comes in and just, it takes time.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of clients understand the time that we put in, but it does take, we're responding to people. We're giving them information. I go in and do the in-person consultation. So I'm taking time to do that. Like it takes time.
I have a question, a customer service question for you. If you get an email at 9:30 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Yes.
Do you respond to it right away or do you wait till the next morning?
If I see it, I respond to it right away. I will send them my welcome. If it's a high school senior, I'll send them my welcome guide. If it's headshot, I'll send them the headshot guide,
which is just like a quick like ABC. Just
right. It has all the info,
right?
Because they say to be very quick on if somebody sends you response.
The faster you are,
something, send it back.
I feel like I don't want to be so fast. Like if it comes in right away, I want to at least wait like 10, 15 minutes. And I don't want it to feel like automated.
Yeah. Right.
But I want them to be like, I know I'm on top of it. But then at the same time, I'm like, you know what? It's 9:30, 10 p.m. I'm relaxing in my PJs. I'm watching my TV show. I'm going to get to it in the morning. So there's like that give and take. That.
So if I see it, I'll send it.
Yeah.
If I'm out or if I'm not looking at my phone, no, I don't send it till the next day.
Yeah.
So it's just,
I think you have to give yourself,
If I see it.
yes, you have to give yourself grace. Don't feel like I have a friend she's not a photographer, but she owns her own business and she does not give herself grace. Ginger, I'm talking about you, girlfriend. I love you.
She has Facebook friend of me.
She does not
Hi,
give herself
Ginger.
grace. She's constantly on the clock, constantly, always responding to people. And I tell her, I'm like, put your phone down.
Yeah.
Have your me time. You need to have your me time.
You do have to have your me time.
I think it's important to make sure like you kind of have, now granted, like what you said, like, yeah, if one randomly comes in and I'm free, I'm not actually like doing anything, like
If
let's
I'm
respond to it, get on
and
top
I
of
see
it.
then I'll send.
Yeah.
Because it's a very quick email. Here's my information guide.
And I also feel like on their end, they're sitting down watching TV like we are. And they're like, you know what? I need to find that family photographer, that wedding photographer, senior photographer, whatever. I'm just going to send out a handful of emails right now.
Yes.
See what comes back tomorrow. So they're not necessarily expecting something right away, although you still want to be the first one to respond back.
Right. So I got a call I would say it's first thing this morning on Sunday morning. And I was like, I don't recognize that number. I'm sitting with my family. So I didn't answer. And then I went and looked and it was a gal wanting to recreate an image, which it's Sunday. So I'm not going to respond to her till Monday because I'm spending time with my family in the morning.
Exactly.
And then of course with you right now.
Yeah.
So you get stuff like that. And I get it. It's a Sunday morning and they're just, oh, I found somebody I need to call, but I'm not going to respond till tomorrow morning.
I definitely feel that if it's, depending upon the email for sure, but if it comes after 5 p.m. on a Friday, I do not feel guilty personally if I don't respond on Monday morning because it's my weekend.
Yeah. And that's a business.
Yes.
Like my hours, anybody knows that I don't shoot on the weekends unless I put them on there. My typical shooting days are Tuesdays and Thursdays, but if I put them on there, so I'm technically off on the weekend.
Right. So it's important to set boundaries. When you're wearing this customer service hat, set your boundaries. Know what your boundaries are because you can very easily go into this like, oh my God, I'm always working because you did not set your boundaries of when your off time is and your on time is. And
that's, again, we could do there's so many subjects and we have so many podcasts we could do about, but that's why I have in my PhotoBiz website, I have my schedule is set up and I send people there because I am really bad at saying no.
Yes, I am too.
And so if I send them to that, it's forcing them to go into my schedule and I don't have to say no to them, but it's
and your pre-planned schedule that you're completely okay with.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's
true. Yeah, I don't have a schedule like that. You have that on your website. I do not. I just let people send me dates and then I look at my calendar and I'm like, okay, this one works. This one kind of works. This one doesn't work. And then I respond back to them. That's, I still work it that way.
I have like selective dates that I hold off for like if there's rain delay, like if there's rain or whatever and we have to reschedule. So I have stuff set aside for that for clients that have already booked. So I always tell them if there's something that's not working for you, let me know and I will try to fit you in. But mainly I shoot on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I feel if I can send them that schedule, like it keeps me in check with my yes and my personal self that wants to say yes, yes, yes is saying no.
It's putting you, it's making you do what you should be doing as not a yes, yes, yes person.
Right. Because I would say yes and then I get overworked and overwhelmed. And
so I'm actually that.
And that's why you need the PhotoBiz for this thing. Because if you just send it out
any day, all days.
Yeah.
And I just tell my clients, send me 3 or 4 dates that work for you. And then once they send them to me, I then look, I'm like, okay, well, this day I have this going on, so that won't work. This day, okay, I'm free this day, and this might be like a Wednesday evening. I'm like, okay, I can do that. Versus I don't have a set Tuesday, Thursday like you do.
And I do migrate off that depending on the situation.
Especially if there's like weather related or whatever.
Right. But it's, for me, it keeps me in check with, I want my weekends free for my family. And that keeps me shooting 2 days a week and gives me plenty of time to be editing the other days.
Well, I think that's the good reasoning of if you are a mom and you have a family, you are very serious about that family time versus my life not having kids. I'm like, okay, Monday night, I'm just I'm making dinner with my husband and we're watching TV or
But
I'm
you still
editing.
have
So I'm like,
your-
I can
you
still
have
kind of
family. You might not have kids, but you have
Yeah.
your family time with your nephew, your sister,
Yes, that's true.
your
Yeah.
friends that you like to enjoy on the weekends.
Yes.
And I feel like
And you want to. I want to enjoy that.
you want to enjoy that. So
Yeah.
you have to, as a photographer, you can set your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
People will continue to book with you.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to set it straight. And if you're like me and you're a doormat that wants to be like, yes, 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 set up a schedule and just say, will you please go to my calendar?
Yeah.
Because
And it forces them into
it
what
forces them.
without you breaking down and,
Yes.
and giving in.
And giving it. You might lose some clients, but it's good for
I
me.
think you would, right? I mean, it's just a day of the week.
It's okay if you pull a kid out of school half day. It's okay if when we have light out, you want to start your senior session at 4:00.
Right.
So I don't feel like I'm
I agree. Well, and I have found also in terms of the seniors, they get out of school so early.
They do.
They have like this or that happening in life. They're like, oh yeah, I leave at like 1:00 on 3 days of the week or whatever.
So I think you're fine with that. It's just, and again, like I said, if it rains, I keep certain things in the back pocket. But.
So I would say the only other customer service hat that we didn't talk about is maybe you touched on it. I'm sorry, but I was going to touch on it too. Is like the deadlines, making sure you don't fall behind on your deadlines. It can be hard sometimes to, especially during our busy season, where we live is. It kind of starts in September and it goes through November, October. Right. It's mostly October, but it starts early and ends late because. We don't
get a whole lot of summer sessions. I know some areas get a lot of summer sessions.
We get really hot in the summer. I'll get June sessions, but July and August, I don't want to work in July and August. No, it's miserable and miserable.
Really request it either.
Yeah.
I don't get a lot of requests.
Yeah. But then when you are in your busy season, if you can't stick to your standard deadline, like say you tell your clients 1 week after the session, you're going to have your gallery done. If you can't stick to that, my suggestion to you is just tell them upfront. Just be upfront with them and tell them like, hey, it's my busy season, or hey, I'm getting ready to go out of town. I just want to let you know that while I typically get this stuff done in 1 week, it's going to be two and a half weeks because of ABC happening. And I've never had anybody who said that was an issue. I think the only time is if they needed it for Christmas pictures. And then if that's the case, then I'll say, you know what, I'm going to go through, pre-cull them, pick out a few of my favorites, get those to you so you have something for your Christmas cards, and then I'll get the rest to you in, whatever time frame I told them. So to make everybody happy.
My thing with that is I tell them 2 or 3 weeks of editing. But
I tell people 2 weeks. I said 1 week because I was like, do people think 2 weeks is too long?
Well, so here's the thing. I say 2 or 3 weeks and I try to get done prior to that so that I'm
under promise, over deliver.
Right. And typically I do that just fine, especially in the busy season. And so on my website, if you go on, it says 2 to 3 weeks, and I usually get done 1 to 2 weeks.
Right.
And
that's always the goal. You always want, if you're going to put something on your website, do exactly that. Put it up a little bit higher, knowing that you can get it done underneath that time frame. So that's only going to make your clients happier. That they're like, oh my God, she must have really liked us. She got her stuff done fast.
Yep. Yeah.
So
I try to do that.
Yep. Yeah. It's good. Okay. Are we moving on?
Yeah,
I think we talked about that one for a little bit. Okay. So the next one is the stylist and the creative director hat. So, help picking out outfits, picking out the locations, posing your clients, making sure everything looks great before you actually take the photo. So what do you think? What do you think about that, Annette?
So for me with seniors, it's finding all those things. So
it's a lot with the seniors.
It is, because you need to find out what they're into, what their hobby is, what their love is, their sports are.
And they're younger, so they can be more introverted than an adult, and you have to pull that out of them.
Sometimes you have to pull it out of them, especially if mom's saying this, but the senior is not talking. You talk to the senior.
Right. Mom's like, she's so ABC, and you're not getting any of that.
You're not getting anything. Yeah. So I had this last week, I had a consult, and the mom's like, the daughter was in the restroom. Well, she probably won't talk to you, but this is what she wants. I'm like, okay. But then when she came in, I'm like, so I'm hearing this. Like, what are you thinking? And she, gave me suggestions. So you always want to try to get that perspective from them for sure. You're talking about everything when you're with the senior, their hair, their jewelry. You want to make sure everything is showing right. They're posing. If their hair is off, fix it. If their jewelry's off, fix it. You know,
tweak everything to make it perfect.
I always tell them, if you're a jewelry person, add it. It makes for the picture, right?
Yep.
If you want the hair and makeup, do it. If you don't, be natural.
Be natural. Be whoever you are as a person.
But then when you're figuring out how to creatively make this session, then look at them. Make sure you're getting their clothing right. I had a girl that wanted a skull sweater.
Okay.
And right off the bat, I'm thinking Del Mar loop.
Yes.
And we did Del Mar loop. And let me tell you, that was her scene.
Her vibe.
Mm-hmm. And it worked amazing.
Del Mar loop is a very urban area of St. Louis that it's very good for the music scene and stuff like that. And I could see a skull sweatshirt going really good there.
And she loved it. Her mom loved it. Now, this was not a girl that would smile for the camera, but she did a couple for mom. But other than that, like, she loved her senior pictures because it was her. So you look at,
and it was your job to do that. It was my job. Tell her, like, here's where we're gonna go. I know this is gonna work out well.
Yeah. Yep. When she sent me that skull sweater, I'm like, And she had like the combat boots. I'm like, yeah, this is where we're going.
Yep.
Like, this is the scene.
And that is what you were paying for when you're like, wow, this pricing is a little high. Well, this is all the little things that everybody's paying for. This is what, like,
it's our knowledge.
Our knowledge. Yes, exactly. I know especially in the fall time frame when all the families come out of the woodwork and want to do family sessions, I go into Pinterest. And I Pinterest all of the most common color combos for the season.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I always have people asking me to a point where I'm just kind of like, hey, here are the top color matches for the season. If you're looking for some color ideas, because a lot of the moms were like, okay, I'm booking this because I know I need it. Yep. I need it for Christmas cards, or I just need it for my yearly shoot and it's already October and we got to get this done, but I don't know what to do. So it's like, okay, let's start with this. Let me give you some color ideas and then you guys can kind of go from there. So that's how I kind of use it in a family perspective. I also have a page on my website where I have listed like how to be comfortable on your photo shoot. Like, you don't want to wear something that you are uncomfortable in, because if you're uncomfortable, that is going to transition. That's going to show across the camera. You want to be comfortable, but yet I know we all want to look cute, especially for like, we got a couple extra pounds on us or something. We want to hide it or whatever. Like, we still want to look cute. We're going to help
yes,
we will pose you to get rid of those extra 5 pounds that you might be hanging on to. Trust me. I know that feeling.
Well, and the one thing is too, like, designs and logos, right? One of the things I tell all of my clients, if you have a crazy design or logo, let's talk about that, because a logo can take the attention off the subject, right?
Yeah.
A crazy design can take it off
like on their clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something you need to take into consideration when they send that, because they, sometimes they have crazy ideas, which are really awesome too, but you got to look at it all and then say, hey, this is what I think. Let's, go with this. Because if they're beautiful and they have a shirt that has something really crazy across it, your eye is going to go right straight there.
Right.
It's not going to go to the senior's face or the person's face or whatever.
Yeah. Yep. I hear you. That's true. I didn't think about that. You're right. That's
so no, I always tell them, keep patterns to a minimum, depending. And as far as logos, let's nix the logos.
What do you think about families all wearing the same color?
Oh, I do not like that. I mean, that's like 80s, maybe 90s. I don't know. Like, no. They all want to wear white.
Don't do it.
They want to wear white and black shirts and jeans. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
No, let's complement. Let's coordinate and complement.
Yes. Pop a color. Pop a color is always good.
Yeah. No.
Compliment. Okay. Can I add in a category real quick?
You can.
Okay. Because we have like a list of ideas that we want to talk to you guys about, but I told Annette that I wanted to add in one quick category when it comes to wearing all hats. And that is, as a wedding photographer, one hat you wear is literally being the person in charge of the day.
Yep.
I got married about 5 years before I became a photographer. My photographer, he was a male. He was great. He was awesome. He was a nice guy, but he just was in the like background the entire time. And he took great pictures,
Right.
but he was just in the background.
Right.
And I don't know where the switch flipped. Maybe it's because my personality of like, I want to schedule and I want to like know what I'm doing and stuff. But once I started doing my own weddings and I was talking to my first few brides, I realized quickly that like, they have no idea what they're doing.
No, they don't. You have to
Unless
tell them.
sometimes, I mean, nowadays, we're talking, this was like 2011. Nowadays, there's so many venues with coordinators where it makes it much easier. But I want to say like, they were just kind of like, I don't know. So I kind of started just taking upon myself to be like, okay, well, let's make a timeline. Let's do this. Let's figure this out. And then I would make sure that I always show up with a wedding day with a timeline. Whether there is a coordinator that they've hired or not, I still have my own version of a photography timeline, which I've talked in depth to with the bride about, okay, we're going to start at this time. We're going to take these pictures here, blah, blah, blah. We're going to do this here. I always, one big thing, all you wedding photographers out there, ask your brides for a family photography combination list.
Oh my
Absolutely.
Yes.
When I got married, I did not do that. And it started a family riff that lasted a few years because
you got to do that.
I was young and dumb, and I didn't know the importance of family pictures at a wedding day. And I just wanted to literally, guys, I just wanted to get on my party bus and leave. I wanted to get married, get on my party bus and leave. And my mom was like, Christina, we need to go take family pictures at the altar. And I'm like, I don't really want to. She's like, come on, Christina, we got to do it. So I just did it with my mom's family, not the other side.
And then you really,
not thinking anything of it because I'm like, okay, fine, mom, I'll do it. Then the other side got mad, and then I didn't. So I always tell my brides, I'm like, it is not worth it. Give me a list. Talk to both moms. Talk to your fiance's mom, your mom. Get me a list. I'm going to print out that list, bring it with me, and I'm going to use my really loud ass voice that I already have. And we're going to holler people out. It's the most crazy part of the day is family photography.
At least you have that loud voice.
I do have that loud voice. I'm going to holler it out. We're going to do all the different combinations so that you don't miss anybody. Or if we miss it, because that is, you guys, that is when everybody decides to go to the bathroom. Is family photos.
Oh, they do.
They always decide like,
do.
they want to go down and get a drink. Oh, Bob. Oh, he just left for a second. He's smoking. I'm like, why? Why does he got to smoke right now?
we're done.
Yes.
I think that was
so
one of the things I used to tell all the clients when I don't do weddings anymore. But when I did do it, it became an issue. And I was always like, send to both parents. I need to know what family pictures need to be had.
Right.
And they need to know to stick around.
That's right.
What I would tell them.
Because I always do it after the ceremony's over because everybody's there at the ceremony. Yeah. I would always tell my brides, hey, at your rehearsal dinner, which most likely these people that are in these pictures are going to be at your rehearsal dinner.
Might be drunk.
Right. Be like, hey, tomorrow at the wedding, we were taking pictures. So yes.
You guys stay around.
Yes. So anyway, so yeah.
That could be a whole other thing in itself.
That can be a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But being a wedding photographer, you definitely wear a hat of a coordinator, whether you like it or not. I think that the wedding photographers who do that do a better job. In my opinion, I'm sorry, don't hate me for it. But in my opinion, I think if you kind of take charge, if there's a coordinator there, just be with the coordinator. Make sure you guys are on the same page. Talk to her before the wedding. Make sure you guys know what's happening, and that way, like, it is your job to make sure that bride gets where she needs to go in the right time, and that you're not be like, oh, I'm so sorry, it took 20 minutes instead of 10 minutes. No. You have to be accountable for that. That is your job. So that's my high horse that I'm kind of done with now.
I could totally tag on to that, but we'll keep that for a whole nother episode. I'm not gonna add my 5 minutes. But we'll go on.
We'll get Rhonda on here and we'll go all about it.
But yeah, I could totally, I don't do them anymore, but when I did them, I can relate. So the editing hat. So the work after the shoot, editing, retouching, making images perfect, deciding to edit yourself or outsource. So for me, it's very time consuming. I don't think clients really realize this, but you try to get it perfect within the camera, right? And so for me, I do order sessions and they get to see these pictures straight out of camera. And then we decide what to order, which saves me a whole lot of time. So whatever they edit or order, I edit.
Yeah.
to the full extent, but they get to see their sneak peeks, which are samples of what I edit. But editing can take, anywhere from 5 minutes to even with the new AI stuff.
Yes. AI has definitely made it easier.
Oh God, it's made it so much easier. It used to be like 20 minutes an image.
Yeah.
And now I feel like that's helped take it down a notch. I spend a lot of time making sure my image is perfect. I go in, I zoom in. You're not going to have blemishes. You're not going to have straight hairs. You're not going to have, I'm going to enhance your eyes, but I'm not going to make you look like a plastic person either.
You are so good at your editing. She'll send me an image and she'll be like, okay, look at this one stray hair and tell me if it's bothering you. And I'm like, what stray hair?
Because my eyes get so tired.
And you're like, no, there's a freaking stray hair there. It's driving me crazy. And I'm like, girlfriend, it looks amazing.
Yeah. Just sometimes you got to walk away because you're your eyes get so intense on it. And I'm like, I got to walk away. And I got to come back and look at this image again. And did I do too much or did I do perfect? Everybody's imaging or editing style is different.
Right.
And that's okay. You can choose to do as much as you want or as little as you want.
Right.
I like a good mixture. I want to clean them up, but also make it look
timeless. That's what I always like. That's what I always like to say. I feel like you and I are in the same category for that. Yeah.
I don't want them to look like they're a plastic figure.
Right.
By any means. I want them to look like they could be a cover of a magazine, but not that intense editing.
You want mom and grandma to look at it and be like, that is my child.
Right.
She looks like herself, but just amplified in like a good way.
Right.
Not in a,
I
doesn't look like her way.
Extra oomph, but not a, oh my God, I don't recognize that
Maybe the teeth are a little bit wider.
Yeah.
Blemishes are gone.
They all like that. They want that. Can you make your teeth white? Can you this or so here's and I'll get on this tangent for just a second.
Go for it.
With the order sessions, what I have learned the best with these and why I do them is because a lot of the clients will not pick an image because they do not realize what can be taken out of an image, whether it be a phone in the pocket or something in
they see something like that is an easy edit, but they can't get past it.
They don't know it. So when we do an order session, they're like, is there any way to remove that? 100% yes, I can easily. That's like a click. I can do that. They don't know that when you don't have that communication with them.
Right.
And so then they don't pick that image because they think, oh, that can't be removed.
Yeah.
No, I can totally remove that. So when I sit down with an order session, the first thing I say is just keep in mind when you go through these images, anything that distracts you, let me know because I can take care of it.
Right.
And then we can go through. So that's kind of the difference between not having these sit down communications with them versus having that. That's why I really encourage the sit down order sessions is because of that.
Because of that.
Yeah. They don't know if you don't tell.
I hear you. For me, my extra editing is with my seniors and my newborns. I will have a conversation with them at the senior session. I'll do at the end of my senior session when I'm with, because the moms always come. I actually have only had a couple senior sessions where the parents didn't come. And I thought I was like, okay, I got to fix this. I got to make sure a parent comes because I want to be able to talk to an adult and be like, okay, I want to make sure we're on the same page. I want to make sure we're doing the same thing.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll have a conversation at the end of the session being like, okay, here's what to expect next. Here's what you're going to see. Here's what you need to do next. And you're also going to get an email that says the same exact thing I'm telling you right now.
Right. And do it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Just throw it out, throw them at. But yeah, same thing where, and I learned that from you. It's since I started editing my seniors a lot more intensely, I'm not going to sit there and spend an inordinate amount of time crazily editing these images for them to not purchase them.
I used to spend 3 minutes an image.
Yeah.
And I would pick them.
How many images would you say I'd take a session?
Well, I would take a lot of stuff.
Like a few hundred?
Right. But I would choose my 30.
Right.
And edit them intensely and send them to them. And what I've learned from the order session is what I like is not necessarily what the client likes.
So that's so funny. I completely agree with you. And it's crazy because they see it differently than we do. We see it as a portfolio thing.
Right.
And so we're looking at the pose, we're looking at the background. They're looking at it emotionally.
Right. And they're like, I don't like how I look in that. I don't like my serious look.
Right.
Or I don't.
But I do the same thing. I do the same exact thing. I go through and I pick out my favorite ones and I edit those. And I'm like, this is time on my end that I'm choosing to do for myself because I know I want this for my portfolio.
That's why order sessions are so important for me because I hear it. The kids will be like, oh, I don't like how I look. And I'm like, it's fine. Like there's 200 and something images here. If you like every single one, we're going to have an issue.
Right.
Like you need to
make more of a decision than that. Yeah.
And it's funny because you'll hear them say, you'll hear their insecurities. And it's like, I don't like my serious look. I don't like this. Or mom and the child will laugh at like a certain look. Yeah. And I'm like, they get that look. That you just, as a photographer, you're looking, I think you look awesome. But you don't know that they don't what they're feeling. Right. And so that's where I've learned for me, that's what's important. And so we go through and narrow it down and get those images.
Now, when I do like my family photography, it's completely different.
Right.
It's more of like lifestyle where I'm just we're posing them for some, but then I'm also just doing just them being a family. And when I'm editing that, I'm doing a nice general edit to make it look good, but I'm not going in and making sure blemishes are good, teeth are white.
Everything's like good.
No, I'm not doing any of that. So when it comes to a family edit, that's why I tell people, I'm like, your family session might have way more images that you paid for at the end. So then I think the other thing that we need to talk about is outsourcing.
Yes, outsourcing. So I have tried it in the past and I do not like to do it because I don't feel like they ever get the personal style that I like. So I like to take each individual image or group and kind of go from there. And I have never been happy with what I get because I'm very picky. But I mean, if you're not, then use it. I mean, it's a great source.
I like to use outsourcing for things that I then take and do more to. Right. If I'm doing a baseball team. Correct. And I did this recently. I did a junior, small, young kid baseball team. And I sourced out having them all removed from the background so that I could make it into a banner.
And that's things like that. That's what it's good for.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. It's and then you take it and you do their things. Like I sometimes with my weddings, I'll outsource my reception images because they already know what style and everything I like to use. 500 images, and Chris, it might be 200 images that they can whittle down to 200 total for me. Right. So it definitely is worth my money to do it. Yeah, for sure. So
I feel like for my seniors and whatever, it's just, I take each individual image separately and I'm not happy with what they do. So I just have to do my own.
Yep.
Because I'm picky.
And that's okay.
Yeah. So you got to pick when to do it and when not.
Right. When it works for you and when it doesn't work for you, for sure. Yeah. All right. So our next hat is the tech hat. So, you want to keep your cameras, your lenses, and your lighting all working properly. You want to know what to do if something fails during a shoot, but then it also goes forward into not just your camera gear, but like your computer gear, like anything techie, which pretty much everything we work with is techie. Right. Yeah. So all of it.
Yeah. So I will say I have issues. Well, I have issues when it comes to the computer because my husband will hear me cursing from the next room and he'll have to come help me.
Their offices are side by side.
Yes, so he'll do that. But then, there can be something that's mixed up why something's not going off. And if you're in the middle of a shoot like I have been, I have to text my BFF here and say, help me out.
What's going on?
Or like she's borrowed my gear before and stuff has like a settings got mixed up. I'm like, what's going on?
Totally did that.
So it's fine. But you just have to calm down, take it one step at a time, look at all your settings and go from there.
And if you do borrow something from your friend, make sure you put the settings back to what they did, which I did not do. And I learned my lesson. I felt so bad because she didn't realize it till she was already at a session. And I was like, oh my, and she didn't know. She's like, what the hell did you do? I'm like, oh, I had to think. I'm like, okay, try this.
So it's definitely a tech.
Give the borrow
step by step.
Yes. Know your tech stuff, but then also give the things you borrow back the way you got them in.
It's fine. It worked out. But again, that's what we say. You have to wear the tech hat.
Yes.
It really is.
And if you did not know what your settings should be, you would have been completely confused. You had the knowledge to know it was wrong.
It can be your camera. Like mine was, I bought a new camera for a backup camera, and the settings, I bought it used, and the settings were all off. So I got to the shoot, and I'm like, oh my God, it won't. And I thought I had set it up prior, but the settings were not working. And I'm like, look this up for me.
Yeah.
So we were at the tech hat.
You wear the tech hat. Yep. The other tech issues that you will have to always think about is backups of your files. You want backups. It's so important to have backups of your files because your clients will lose their images. But then you also, like, I'm a digital hoarder.
Me too.
I
don't get rid
I'm
of
not
shit.
a hoarder in normal life, but when it comes to digital stuff, I'm a hoarder. And I want to keep everything. I want to make sure, like,
we're cussing, so you can say shit.
Oh, I can say shit? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like to hoard all of my digital files. And
I think I still have mine back from 2008.
Yeah. I only the last few years have been finally telling myself, Christina, delete those raw files. You don't need those raw files from 2010.
But I keep them just
I know,
in case.
right? So if you are a digital hoarder like us, you want to make sure you have backups of backups. Ideally, you want to have files on your computer, but then once you're done with the session, you want to put them onto a external hard drive, right? For backing up to that. And then you also want that to be backed up from like Time Machine or something if you're on Apple. And then from that, you also want to have a cloud backup. You want something off-site because God forbid something blows up or burns down. You want to have all your files off-site also. So you want different levels of protection. And this is pretty much anything in the tech world, but definitely works for the photography world. I had a hard drive that died on me, and it was a NAS drive, to where like a NAS drive it's a big drive that has like 5 hard drives inside of it, and they all kind of talk to each other. And you can pull out one hard drive when it fails, put in another, and it repopulates all the information that was in there. It boggled my mind. I had it for about 10 years and it died on me, and I was beside myself because I kind of put all my eggs in that basket because I thought that all I have to do is pull out a hard drive and put in a new one. But when the entire system fails, you're still screwed.
You are.
And I had to pay a guy in the city who is a great computer tech. Loved meeting him. He's literally saved my life. And he went in and got everything from deletion for me. And, it was a hefty price. It was over $1,000 to get 10 years of my life back digitally, which, to me was worth it. But, you have to think about that stuff, people. You have to think about that stuff.
Yeah, it's very important to have those backups. My husband used to say if a fire happened, get the kids out, I'll get the hard drives.
Right? Yeah, you get the children.
Now we don't have to worry about that as much because we have, cloud backup. But it's all good.
I will get the computers, you get the children. What about the dogs? Who's going to get the dogs?
I don't. I mean, I guess me because he was so busy on the hard drives. I don't know. Okay, so let's talk about the sales hat.
Yeah.
So selling prints, albums, wall art, turning digitals into real money, overcoming all your fear about talking about the prices. So
that's the hard one for me.
Yeah. So for me, I was never a salesperson. And as I got my studio and I wanted to sell these products that I knew my seniors deserved and wanted, I wanted them to have them. I had to turn to the salesperson, which is very hard for me to do, but I managed to do it. And I think most of it is when they see the images, they want this, right? They see the product, they want it. But becoming a salesperson is not easy. You have to know your worth. You have to believe in it. You have to believe in your product price, which I have different suppliers and I love all the products. So you have to find the perfect product, believe in it, and it helps you sell it easier.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you believe in the product, then you'll be able to sell that much. Yeah. That's true. This is the hardest part of the job for me. I am not good at selling at all. And I have to really, really tell myself when it has happened multiple times with wedding packages where I've had a potential client email me back and say, this is not in my budget. Can you work with me? And you know, like back in the day, I would work with anybody and everybody and be like, okay, well then what's your budget? Is it $500? Okay, I'm in, you know? And now I feel like I know my worth more. And I'm like, nah, you can't really, you really have to stick to your guns, because you get those people who take advantage of you. And, you know, she's talking about it from a sales perspective of selling things, but I'm talking about it from a, you know, somebody just not wanting to pay your price. You know, you just really have to stick to your guns and know that you are worth that price you put on that paper that you sent to them. And you have to stick to your guns for that.
The price doesn't just go in. So the album price is not only the price of the album, it's the price of you're editing those images that go into that.
Yeah.
The time, the commitment. So it's not just, you can go to Walgreens, whatever, and do
Walgreens,
right? Oh my God.
Yep.
Good luck with that. But you're not getting the design, you're not getting the perfect photos that go into that. So that, I think that people don't really realize that when they're like, oh, I can do a photo book on my own.
Right.
Okay, well, you can, but you can't do it like we can do it.
Exactly. So definitely instruct your clients to let them know with your sales. Yep. All right. Our next hat. You ready? The educator hat.
Yes.
So teaching others about photography, whether it's clients, students, fellow photographers, it's nice to share knowledge through books, through podcasts, through workshops. Educating yourself is so important, but then also just being in a community with other photographers and being able to share your experiences and share what you've learned with other ones is so beneficial, because you'll teach them something that they might have not known, and they might teach you something you might have not known. And it's just so nice to share it. And there's so many amazing things at your fingertips to learn that you just have to take advantage of. You just have to put forth the effort to take advantage of.
And I can 100% agree. For me, giving is receiving. I feel like, man, we have abundance of photographers in our area, and Christina and I are literally right down the street from each other. Give each other advice and give each other feedback.
Yeah.
Constantly. So
all the time.
If you can't give that to somebody, or somebody's not receptive of that,
it's not, you don't want to be in an environment where you can't speak to somebody and have them giving you an honest response back.
So
when it comes to your field.
We have a good St. Louis group of photographers.
We do.
We all do seniors.
We try to meet every couple of months, but we're meeting on Wednesday for lunch.
We are.
We're going to meet for lunch on Wednesday, and
and
they're good girls.
We give each other tips and everything. And so I think that's important to have. So
very
if you don't have a group like that, find a group like that.
Yeah. And in terms of just not even having a group, just educating yourself in general, like, you know, just get online, do the creative live, do the YouTubes, do anything and everything.
And if you're scared to go by yourself, there are so many solos out there. They will post on that feed, and you will find a roomie. And my 2 roomies have been amazing. Yeah. Like, that's my, I have my Andrea roomie and Regina, and Christina has met Regina.
Not Andrea yet. Yeah.
Not Andrea, but she will next year.
Yeah.
And I've got successfully lucky with those 2.
My first time at Shutterfest they're going into year 11, and I went on year 2 was my first year. So we're talking 10 years ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago. Sorry. See, I'm not good at math. But I went by myself. I was 10 years younger than I am now. And I was so intimidated. But I liked it enough that I kept coming. And then I started making friends. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm going with my friends, and now I'm doing this. And now you know what I mean? So it just kind of grows. So if you're intimidated, just fight through it. I get it. It's really hard to get through that thought process in your mind if you're scared and intimidated, but it's worth it if you fight through it and just stick around. Because
if you find somebody that needs a roommate, you have somebody that you can do it with, and it makes it all the more better. But,
definitely.
You really meet some amazing educators.
Yeah.
That really help you.
Yeah. That you can actually become friends with and reach out to them when you have questions.
Yep.
Versus if you just took their class and walked away and didn't actually like interact with them, you might not have had that opportunity.
Yeah. So it's very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the problem solver hat.
Oh gosh.
Handling the bad
I think that's our
weather,
number one thing we're good at.
unexpected issues, uncooperative clients, all the things. So for me,
all the things.
Yeah, we always have to be the weatherman.
Always.
We're not perfect yet. Just like the weatherman's.
Who's good at the weather? Nobody's good
Nobody
at the weather.
So we have to deal with that. I try to educate my clients on wind, possible rain. I let them decide what they want to do. But I'm like, hey, I mean, here's saying your kid has long hair, could be very windy in their face. So they have to decide. Or, hey, they could be very cold and you don't realize it's going to show. They're going to be uncomfortable. So it's you have to kind of eat all those hats when it comes to that.
Definitely. I actually had a session planned today before we started recording that didn't happen because of the weather. We woke up to it poured its ass off last night. Did you wake up to that rain at all?
I was out.
Oh,
no, I did
you
not.
were out.
But we did.
Night.
Yeah, we were.
Let me enlighten you. It poured its ass off last night. And I woke up to dreary weather and I was looking at the forecast. I wasn't supposed to have my session until the late afternoon, but the forecast just called for rain until midday, and then it called for cloud, and then it called for wind. And so I talked with my client and I'm like, is this the environment you were expecting? Because this is not the environment that I want to shoot you in. If you really want to move forward, we can, but I suggest against it. And so we did. And 2 days from now, it's supposed to be sunny, 69 degrees, and we both had free. So, you gotta problem solve, and you kind of have to tell them sometimes. I feel like sometimes clients, they don't want to tell me what they feel, but I can kind of tell whether I'm talking to them or they're texting me. I can kind of tell what they want. Even though they don't want to say it.
Some want to keep going though. And
some do. And they just like, let's just get it over with. I'm like, okay.
Well, I'm letting you know this is how it might look.
Right.
And I just hate for them to have bad pictures.
So weather is a big thing. Yeah. Weather is a big thing in terms of problem solving. I think you definitely always have to be in charge of that. It's your job to tell your client we're doing it, we're not doing it. Right. Don't let them second guess you, because you might end up hating the session and they might end up hating the session. If you feel the weather's not right, just reschedule.
So sometimes I put it all in their hands because I'll tell them, here's the worst case. And I'm like, you decide, up to you.
Right.
And then let them decide, because I don't want them to be angry at me.
Right.
For the weather.
Yeah.
But I will give them all my expertise. Like, this is what I think.
Right.
We should do.
Yeah.
And if they say, no, I want to continue, then I'll do it.
I will say I strongly suggest we move.
Yeah. But if they're like, no, we just can't, we need to do it. I'm like, that's fine. Yeah. I'll do it. Yeah. I can't promise what you're going to get.
But I know weather we talked about a lot for problem solving, but if you're a wedding photographer, you problem solve all day long and you don't stop. So just know that that is your second most important thing outside of taking pictures is problem solving. There's things that happen all day long that you have to problem solve. So just be used to that. And you'll once you start doing weddings, you'll get a groove of like, okay, I need to come prepared.
Let's go with the uncooperative clients.
Oh, yes. Uncooperative clients.
We do have a few of those, or at least I have. I've had one this year, and you do have to manage those very carefully.
Yes. You want to get your point across, but you also don't want a bad Google review.
Right. So for me, I offered everything I possibly could to correct the situation without fully upsetting her.
Right.
Everything was in my paperwork. So that's it.
People don't like to read things, FYI.
Yes. So you should have everything set up in your paperwork and they should read it and you should know what they're reading. But for me, mine was just literally, she didn't like a certain session and thought she could speak out. And so you're going to get some of those.
Yes, that will happen. And don't let it get you down. It is very easy for it to take your spirit and really hurt your feelings and think like, I'm not worth it. I'm a horrible photographer. She didn't like my work, or she didn't like what I was planning. And you know what? That's just one person.
That's one person.
It's just one
person.
And
I knew I had her other daughter previously, so I knew she was going to be kind of a challenge for me this year. I didn't want to take her on, but I took her on because I liked her daughter. So, just work with those.
Yep. Power through. And at the end of the day,
if you have to let them go, it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do whatever you can to figure out a solution while everybody's happy, because you want them to walk away saying
with what they want.
She wasn't for me, and that's okay.
So that's where I kind of left it with her. Yeah. So it's okay if you have clients that do that to you. Just let it go.
Yeah, let it go. It's very easy to let it get in your head. Her and I have both been through that, and we've talked to each other like, and they say that about everything. You can get 10 positive comments and you get one negative, and that's the one that nags at you in your head. Try to stay away from that, So yeah, I guess, are we wrapping up? I think we're wrapping up. We just gave you guys a lot of information. But you know what? That's what makes being a photographer so exciting.
All the hats.
All the hats. As a reminder, you don't have to do it all. If you feel like outsourcing is for you, if you need help with things, it's all okay to do. So, Annette, let's end with, what is your favorite hat to wear?
Well, taking the pictures.
Right? That's mine too. Of course. Why would we say anything else?
I like to edit pictures. I do like editing like certain ones. Like when I get back, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And I want to do that. And then some of the social media. But again,
everything has little positiveness to it.
Right. It's just when you have to do it all, then it's like, it's time consuming and it's a lot. But I enjoy it all.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Being behind the camera is the reason why we are both here. That's why we love it so much. But if you're trying to turn this into a business, just realize that you have a lot of other hats that you actually have to consider to really make it profitable. And that's really much it at the end of the day.
Yeah, you can't just take pictures and expect that it's going to go somewhere.
Right.
There's too many. Yeah. What did Cindy say? Too many mama Razzis out there.
Something like that. Mama Groffers or something she said. Yeah.
Mama Razzis. Too many mama Razzis out there. So if you really want to make something of it, you do have to do a little bit more work.
Yep.
But yeah.
All right. Is this the end of our episode?
It is.
I think so.
Let's cheers to that.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah. On to the next.
Cheers. On to the next one. See you next time.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Wind Down and Focus. We hope you had as much fun as we did. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode full of photography tips, stories, and of course, some laughs.
Thanks for hanging out with us, and remember, whether you're behind the lens or in front of it, keep having fun and capturing those unforgettable moments.
Catch you next time as we sit, chat, and focus on what makes photography awesome.
Before we go, can you do us a small favor? Go online right now and share this episode with one friend who you think will love it. And while you're at it, we'd love for you to leave us a review. It really helps us reach more photographers like you. Also, don't forget to check out the show notes. We've got a free guide waiting for you when you subscribe. It's called 5 Ways to Get More Photography Clients, and it's packed with actionable tips to help you grow your business. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time on Wind Down and Focus.